Hello guys, it's Sneaky Turtle. In this video we're going to be building the Dream Chaser space plane, the one that NASA and the United States Air Force is working on. We're going to start out in the space plane hangar using the Mark II fuselage and the Mark II cargo bay. And then I'm going to use the Mark I cockpit as the cockpit for this airplane. This seat can only hold one person, which is kind of a downside to it, but now I'm adding the Terrier engines on the back. It has two rocket engines on the back, and they're about the size equivalent of Terrier engines. And now I'm going to add the hinges, because the Dream Chaser had hinges to fold the wings up for easy storage and then fold down on re-entry. The Dream Chaser's purpose, once it is fully constructed, I can't speak, if it ever is, I don't know if it'll ever get finished, but when it is ready, it will do resupply missions to the International Space Station. I don't know how useful it will be when Starship is complete, but it's kind of cool, little space plane. Adding elevons to the back and a tail fin. And there we go. Now basically they're all sorted out. And I did actually try to put flags on this craft. I tried to use black flags and put them on the bottom for like heat tiles, but it didn't work. I did not show that in build time lapse. What I also forgot to put in the build time lapse is make sure you add some sort of power system, like an RTG or something, or solar panels or whatever. On the back, I'm going to use a piston and yeah, they're pistons, I think. Just offsetting the piston into the spacecraft, so that the piston can extend and it can dock to like a space station. Folding the wings up there and just kind of getting ready for flight of the Dream Chaser. So here's when I tried putting flags on, but I did cut that off. So now we're going to crossfade to the vehicle assembly building. I've seen a few renders of it. One was the Vulcan. I decided, yeah, the Vulcan's kind of a new, coolish looking rocket, so I might as well use the Vulcan. At first I used a fairing, and then I ended up not using the fairing because it was really glitchy for some reason. I decided to use two skipper engines for the upper stage, just because I thought they had plenty of power, and no, I ended up using the breaking ground ones. The what are they called? How come I don't remember the name? Skiff, maybe? Skiff engines? I don't remember. The ones that were on the Saturn V upper stage. But now I'm going to use an engine plate so that it actually separates correctly. So engine plate down. Attaching a fuel tank. And then I used two F1 engines. And it has 6 solid rocket boosters. I didn't end up recovering the lower stage. This is definitely not the best looking Vulcan, but also in the Dream Chaser payload bay, I added some extra fuel tanks. And now we are going to crossfade to launch. And firing up those solid rocket boosters in a few seconds. There we go. And liftoff. As you can see, there's no fairing. With this design, the Kerbal is not able to EVA. But that doesn't really matter, because mostly this is just a space station vehicle, but, yeah. I'm going to be sending it to Minimus in this video, just because it is a lot of fuel. Coming up on SRB separation, and there they go. Now, just on the 2 F1 engines, this is heavily sped up, because these F1 engines did not have a whole lot of thrust. And we are coming up on almost an apogee, which means we're about to separate the lower stage. I separated with some extra fuel, but it was just really heavy, so I just decided to get rid of it. And yep, stage separation. And for some reason it just started spinning. I don't know exactly why, but it did. But then it was fine. So I flew up to the apogee, glided up to the apogee, and fired up the 2 skiff engines. I really should know what those engines are called, because I've been playing Kerbal Space Program for a few hundred hours, and I don't know what it is. Whatever. Getting our encounter with Minimus, and flying on out there. As soon as the burn is complete, the upper stage will be separated, and it will just be the Dream Chaser spaceplane. Now, what's cool about this thing is it's not just a concept. It could actually fly, unlike a lot of stuff that NASA makes up. But now, I did not show this in the build time once, but I put a little satellite in the cargo bay, and I decided to send it into a solar orbit. So there it goes, into a solar orbit. It can just monitor the solar system, or whatever satellites do. But now on the way to Minimus, landing on the Minimus Flats, because the Minimus Flats are the best place to land. Like, just Minimus Flats are awesome. There's no other planet or moon in this game that has as flat of surfaces as the Minimus Flats. I wish there was, because then you could make more like bases on planets, but whatever. Going in for a deorbit burn on the Minimus Flats. On the sunny side, of course, because everyone always wants light. Now, I'm guessing that the Dream Chaser spaceplane would have its wings folded up on launch, but as soon as it got in space, I'm guessing it would just leave them folded out for the rest of the flight. But I don't really know. And because I cannot EVA the Kerbal, we're just gonna kind of take back off again. So we're gonna turn on the RCS, and pop it up into the sky, and activate its engines. Flipping to 90 degrees. And then I just folded up the wings, because I thought it looked pretty cool. And now gliding to apogee. And firing up those Terrier engines once again. And heading on back to Kerbin. And really, the Kerbin re-entry isn't even that bad. Like, this is a space plane with no heat tiles or anything, and it just took the atmosphere perfectly fine. And now we're coming in for our first and final re-entry pass. I'm going to be landing at the KSP. Even though this thing is an airplane, for some reason in Kerbal Space Program it glides like it's a rock. Like a rock with paper airplanes attached to it. Like, it just doesn't glide at all. So the apogee had to go like way, way, way ahead of the Space Center. And then I did an inclination change so that I was actually going to intersect it. And we are coming in for a landing. Re-entry heating starts. It just looks so cool. Flying over the mountains. I can't wait to see this thing built in real life. I mean, I've seen it at the Kennedy Space Center, but we haven't seen it launch yet, so hopefully when it's finally constructed it will launch soon. Because they had like a replica at the Kennedy Space Center. Or a mock-up or whatever. But coming in for a epic landing. The landing gear have deployed. We are coming in for a touchdown, except I don't have a lot of speed, so it's going to be a fairly hard touchdown. And touchdown. But now, as the video comes to an epic end, I would like to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Bye. The video hasn't ended yet, so I have to say something. Hold on. Bye? Yeah, okay, that worked. Bye.